Number one is you really want to make sure that you have contractual agreements between the borrower and the lender. The borrower being someone like me, a real estate investor, a fix and flipper. You have documents just stating everything you guys talked about, from the purchase price of the property, the ARV of the home, the amount of interest that's going to be returned to the particular lender by the borrower once they sell the property or refinance the asset. You want to make sure that you get that individual's LLC documentations, that their LLC is active and that it's actually, a legal entity in that state that they're operating in. You want to make sure that person has a valid state ID. You want to make sure you also do a background check on this individual. You may know them by word of mouth, or you may not. You just may know them by a simple phone call or a message on social media. But you want to make sure you do a background check on that individual. And you want to make sure you'll do a background check on that LLC that they are trying to get the funds from. And also you want to get proof of experience, showing proof that this person does know how to invest in real estate, and they are who they say they are, and they do what they say that they do. But like I said, sometimes you'll talk to these real estate investors at a bar somewhere or on a night like this, just out hanging out, and you may have a great conversation. This person may be someone you think is trustworthy and you want to kind of work with them on a real estate project. Whatever you guys discuss, make sure you put the words on paper and get it into a contractual agreement. That way both parties understand what's going on, and that's first and foremost. And once that individual does decide to present a deal to you, the individual has had to come under contract with a particular seller of a property. So that particular seller is going to have a contract with that private money borrower, and they're going to have title commitment. So before you lend a dime, you want to make sure that you are specifically lending on a real estate deal and not a real estate investor. I'm going to say that again. You want to make sure you are lending on a real estate deal and not a real estate investor. They can go out there and show you that they're doing all of these transactions, that they're closing on deals, and they're doing great, and they just might be doing that, but that doesn't mean you should just throw your money to them. You want to make sure when you get ready to lend on these deals and lend with this individual that you are lending on a deal, an actual tangible asset that has a legal description, that is in a particular county, and you are processing it accordingly in the right way. All right, so some things you want to have in place with that contractual agreement. Again, you want to have the ARV of that property. You want to have the rehab budget together with that property. You want to know the percent of the return that you're going to get. You want to know the length of the note. You also want to make sure that you have the title commitment, is what I talked about, making sure that you have title insurance, a title policy, and their LLC is on that title policy, and their LLC is the actual real one, word for word, page by page. And you want to make sure that the actual contract price between that private money borrower is the same contract price that they have with the seller on the title commitment when they try to get title open up on the property. You want to make sure you're checking all of these documents before you lend a dime, okay? I'm talking to you how you're going to work through this transaction to protect yourself so that you don't get, mishandled and screwed like some people have in the past. It's unfair, and people deserve to invest in real estate. And I hate these discouraging posts that I'm seeing. And me being someone who's very passionate about real estate, who survives and thrives off private money lending, I have to be someone to come here and be a voice of reason and to properly educate people on how they need to do these things the right way. All right, so stay with me. And once you get the timeline of the note that they're promising as far as the terms of the note that they're going to lend you on private money, that particular private money borrower is going to orchestrate a promissory note, okay? And that promissory note is going to be the legal documentation notarized, talking about everything that you two, the lender and the borrower, have agreed upon. It's going to be a promissory note. And I like to get my promissory notes notarized, and then I send that over to my private money lender, all right? Now, with that contractual agreement and with that promissory note that you as the private money borrower orchestrates and gets notarized, you send those two documents to the title company. And you say, hey, title company, I have this property under contract and this seller wants to sell this property to me at this price. I have this particular private money lender that's going to lend. Please, title company, get your attorneys involved and orchestrate a deed of trust, the finalized promissory note, the mortgage note, and just get all those documents together for us. And then also, that particular borrower is going to have to get insurance on the property. And when the insurance comes, you as the lender need to be on the insurance of the property to make sure that you are insured on the asset as well. Rather it be, a storm that comes, lightning strike, windstorm, flood, anything that can come about. while that particular borrower is working on the property. You need to make sure the borrower is insured, and you need to make sure that you as the lender are insured on the insurance as well. Okay, and the insurance should match the timeline of the promissory note. See, all this needs to be together before you lend a dime, before you lend anything, okay? Now, the title company is going to be the most important key player in this whole entire process. You know the legal system we have here with the criminal justice lady with the blindfold over her eye, and she's not looking at either side. She's only doing what she's supposed to do, which is the law. That's what the title company does. The title company makes sure that it's leveled on the side for the borrower, and it's leveled on the side for the lender. That it's leveled ground, nobody's getting taken advantage of. All documents are done the right way between the lender and the borrower, and it's done the right way. That's why title companies exist. And you as someone that is a borrower, you don't need to overwork yourself trying to get all these documents together, because the title company gets paid for that. Let the title company do their job. The title company handles everything. They will orchestrate the deed of trust for you. They will orchestrate the mortgage note for you. They will orchestrate the title commitment. They will do everything for you to make sure you as a borrower is sufficient and you're right as the face of the law when it comes down to you actually getting ready to borrow money from someone who wants to lend to you, okay? Now, make sure you have all this. I know it's a lot, but just keep up with me, okay? Now, once all of that happens, you want to make sure the deed of trust is there as well. You want to make sure you have that promissory note, the recorded mortgage, you on the insurance as the lender, and then the deed of trust. The deed of trust is the first possession lien. It's 2023 right now, post-COVID world, and we're hearing about all of the foreclosures that are going on right now. Why are foreclosures even happening? You want to know why the foreclosures are happening? Because the bank is doing what everybody else should be doing when they lend on these deals. They take first possession lien, okay? And that is a recorded mortgage. Anybody out there that has a mortgage on a house that you've got from a VA, FHA, conventional loan borrower, if you have a mortgage on a property, that mortgage is a lien, okay? That's the first possession lien. Until that debt is paid off, you have a lien on the house. And that lien is a mortgage, and that mortgage is operating under that promissory note. So you as a private money lender is turning to the bank for that particular deal that you're lending on. And you're going to have a mortgage on that property, a deed of trust, a promissory note on that property. That is all orchestrated by a title company, not orchestrated by your people and not orchestrated by the borrower, orchestrated by the title company that has a law-abiding attorney that has an actual license to practice law. All title companies have to have an attorney to drop all the documents. You see why it's important to make sure you're lending this the right way. And once all those documents are together, when it's time for you to finalize the deposit of those funds, you're going to send those funds to a title company, okay? You're going to wire those funds to a title company. You're not going to send those funds to the borrower. You're not going to send that funds to your auntie's account, your friend's account. You're going to send those funds to the title company to protect yourself, okay? And the escrow officer at the title company are going to make sure that that particular wire is protected and secured so nobody can hack that particular transaction, so that your bank account information and your routing information is protected in that transactional lending. And you as the private money lender will send that wire to the title company. The deed's going to be recorded, the mortgage is going to be recorded, the promissory note's going to be there, and your private money borrower should make sure all that happens. And that is the right way you lend in real estate. That is the way you protect yourself. So if you're out there and anyone's telling you, hey, I want you to partner with me on a real estate deal, and I want you to be my lender on this transaction, you better make sure you got all these things together. If you don't, you need to question that borrower and figure out why they don't. Because I've used private capital on real estate transactions. I live in the state of Texas, and from my understanding, this is how it operates nationwide, because I'm a part of a mentorship coaching group specifically geared around private money lending, and this is the way it's done, okay? When you're lending in the first possession lien. Now, second possession lien is something different because you don't have the first possession lien. There's different ways you can do that as well, and even in the second possession lien, when you're lending $30,000 or $50,000 on a rehab, you can still lend those funds to the title company as well and put second possession lien on the asset. Okay, that can be done, all right? And if someone just wants you to send the money to the bank account, you get a lien in place, which is going to be a deed of trust in the second possession lien, and you can personally, as the private money lender, go and file that lien on county records, okay? Or you can get the borrower that's going to be getting the money from you, put that lien on the property. That's the biggest thing, is making sure that you are putting a lien on the asset that you are lending on, that has a legal description, that has a county number, and that has a property address, a physical, tangible asset. Don't lend on someone's dream. Lend on someone's dream, but also make sure it is backed by a secured asset with all documents working accordingly. And then another way, well, not another way, but in conclusion to this, make sure that your private money borrower is giving you updates throughout the timeline of the project. You should have an idea of what's going on with the project. If it's going to be 12 months, 24 months, 6 months, 8 months, your borrower should be giving you updates on the project, what's going on, rehab, plumbing, paint, drywall, cabinets, electricity, whatever the case may be. Your borrower should be giving you updates on the project the entire time, okay? So no one should just take your capital and then ghost you. And even in the promissory note, you can make sure that the borrower promises to update every 14 days or every 21 days to make sure that this person is giving you updates on the project. Because if they're not giving you updates every 21 days and they're just taking your money and you don't have them in 2 months, I mean, trust can be there, but that's a little shady. I want to make sure I'm updating my private money lenders, and as a private money lender, you want to make sure that your borrower is updating you throughout the project so you know what's going on with your capital, okay? And that is a way to make sure that you protect yourself when you're getting ready to lend on these transactions from all these people that's talking real estate, and it's everywhere out there. People are talking about borrow and lend on real estate and make money, get a return, but they're not talking about the paperwork. They're not talking about the paperwork. And that's exactly why people have lost money in real estate. That's exactly why you're hearing the stories that's going on right now on the East Coast with an individual who was working with a real estate investor, but this individual was a well-known person that had millions of followers. And on his podcast and on his shows and on the radio, he would talk about working with this individual to invest in real estate. And people was trusting him and lending the money to him and his partners, and they're running off with the money. It's not that simple. When you're getting ready to lend in real estate, make sure that you are lending on a physical asset, and you make sure that there is somebody between both parties that is a equal person. Not even an attorney, but a title company that you know that's going to do the right thing. And sometimes some states don't have title companies. Some states only have attorneys to close on deals. So you make sure that you are vetting that attorney that they're using. And you can tell that borrower, hey, look, I know you're bringing an attorney to the table, but this transaction, this state is a non-title company state. So you have to have attorneys to close on these deals. Are you okay with me going to find an attorney that I trust, that I know, that I feel comfortable with using to lend on this transaction? And let me tell you this right now. As a private money lender, if you have a borrower that needs your capital, they will be perfectly fine with working with an attorney that you decide to get if they really need capital for that project. If they say they don't want to use that attorney, they want to only use one specific attorney, that should be kind of fishy, because they may have something going on with that particular attorney that you don't know about, and they may be doing some shady stuff behind closed doors. So just be mindful of those things. I'm just giving you awareness and how I think and how I operate and how I want to make sure I'm protecting my private money lenders when they lend on my deals, and how you need to be thinking about lending private capital out there in real estate. And I hope this video finds you in a great space in your life, a great moment. And right now, like I said, we are going through one of the greatest wealth transfers in the world right now, in the time of our existence. So don't be fearful and don't be scared to invest in real estate for a few bad apples. A few bad apples, right? Don't let them spoil you stepping into a supernatural time of wealth right now in real estate. There's deals out there galore right now, and you have capital to invest, but you're scared about what other people have done. There's a right way to do it, and you deserve to buy real estate. You deserve to invest in real estate. You deserve to be a private money lender, and you deserve to be a private money borrower. But there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it, and just make sure you're doing it the right way. So talk to you guys soon. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you at the closing table.